If they are in fact interdimensional or like that, then we have to look for an alternate key, and that may be every half key in between might be the call, you know, might be microtonal, you know, for that matter.
I'm a sci-fi channel.
How you doing? Okay. How you been?
Welcome aboard.
We should probably go outside and not watch this, okay?
The idea of UFO Woodstock is one of the people who was involved.
UFOs at Woodstock.
Did you see?
Oh, they were flying around in the sky up there.
What are they?
At night, it was really interesting. But I think the first night. Well, anytime I've ever seen things like that, they happen to be star-like, very, very far away, moving very fast because of the distance. Something like that far away can cover in that distance. They were moving dirt fast. I saw them in Atlanta Pop. I saw them out in the desert in Mexico when I did a film down there. Did a movie. Was an Othello movie in '70, and then I saw them in Germany, and I saw them at Woodstock. Atlanta Pop Festival.
And where do you think they're from?
Personally, I think they're from here. Personally, I think they're from inside the planet myself, you know?
Yeah.
I think that there is a very big effort to keep us from realizing the planet is hollow. It's been documented from space, and all the planets actually are hollow. And that's only due to the naturalness of spinning in space and from hot to cold, you know, in that sense. But I believe they're still for me. I have very many South American friends, you know, who live in Peru and in the Andes, who say if they don't see 5, 6, 15 a day coming out of the mountains, they don't see any.
Wow.
You know.
Well, you know, I found...
And that's for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's not anything new.
I found an extraordinary number of rock stars that had UFO experiences, not just believe it, have had sightings. In my research, of course, I found Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix, Mick Taylor, Keith Richards. It just goes on and on.
I wouldn't doubt it, because I think that it's a matter of consciousness. It's a matter of being aware or open, you know, in that sense. And it just happened to be in places. I'll never forget when I was at Atlanta Pop Festival. We had been in the dressing room, and there was this young kid running around, stage guy. He was a nice kid, real hard worker, and he kept rapping to me outside the door. So he came out and he said, "Richie, come out here, you know, there's a couple of guys I want you to meet." So we're all standing in a huddle, and then all of a sudden one of the guys does like this, you know, and go, "What the heck is that?" You know, and we look up and there's a starlight, which means very, very high and very small, came right to the dressing room, looks right at me and says, "Did you see them, brother?" And I went, "Sure did." We all saw that, you know.
I seen one in the daytime in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah. Mine in Germany was
right
in
in
the
Poughkeepsie,
daytime.
right across the street. I mean, right across the river, underneath the trees. It was hovering underneath the trees. I was working with Pete Seeger, and what happened, I got up on the deck and it was like hovering underneath the trees so nobody could see it, and all of a sudden it started moving slowly up. And all of a sudden, boom, it flew right into the cloud. It left a reddish-orange light. Kind of like the world, and all of a sudden it just went out.
What do you think?
Where was that, Flushing?
In Poughkeepsie.
On Poughkeepsie.
Okay,
be right with you.
What do you think of the idea of, I'm trying to organize a UFO Woodstock. You know, next year, of course, it's 25th anniversary of Woodstock. Have you talked to them about being there?
No, they haven't actually talked to me either, although they've been touting that they're going to have everybody there again. You know, they haven't talked to anyone. They haven't talked to anyone. But I'm looking forward to the possibilities, because this time I think there'll be 3 million people showing up, you know, for sure, without a doubt. There's no way they could control that. And so I think that if that in fact happens, that may be just the time when we do get contacted, you know.
Well, what do you think of the idea of setting out to send out a musical message to extraterrestrials at the Woodstock?
It's a great idea.
The 25th anniversary.
Much like Close Encounters. We could set up something and do something. It would be fun to do.
All right.
I'd be a part of that.
What do you think is the resonant chord for this?
Oh, I don't know. I tell you the truth. I think it is chords, though. I'll tell you that.
What's the
I
key
think
of
it is chords. You know, I figure if they are in fact interdimensional or like that, then we have to look for an alternate key, and that may be every half key in between might be the chord, might be microtonal, for that matter. But I do think the oldest, when the older you get in terms of musical culture, the more microtonal it is. And as far as I'm concerned, after studying the Tibetans and the Chinese and the Eskimos who say they came from inside the planet, I have no doubt that that's still connected.
It must be quite an echo inside the planet.
It must be.
Okay.
Must be.
All right, you want to, Richard, can you join us downstage?
Oh, I will
downstairs for a couple minutes, and Roland, we're going to open up.
I'll come down. I'm going to
Richard.
to these guys.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
And they said if I couldn't get in, that I should speak to you.
Let's see how we're going to make this work. It's very difficult to use someone else's instrument. You don't want to hurt it. It's kind of... Plus it has its own little natural things like that. I'd like to just didn't expect to be doing this actually, but it happens sometimes. You get in a place where the guitar is there as well, so you're trying to put something together. This is a very interesting occasion and event. I think it draws on a lot of people who have had very special things happen around them, to them, things like that. Things that official people don't like to talk about. And I've had my own occasions to, let's say, come in contact with a few things that were not supposedly normal. As far as I'm concerned, they're probably more normal than anything. I was saying upstairs at an interview, they were talking about whether things like UFOs are things that are in some ways can be thought of as reality and things like that. And I was saying to him that in actuality, I believe that things like this are probably more actual than the human perceptive powers, basically because our perceptive powers are not well trained at all in most cases, and there are no intentions to train them even any better. So we're all talking about a lot of things that are in our own sense, our own personal perceptive powers, which are all different. And the fact of the matter is that we speak of realities, or let's say actualities, after the fact, after they've already happened, then they're actual to us. But the fact of the matter is, as they are happening, they are actually actual. Now there's a mouthful. Actually actual. And that when they are happening, people are going through certain things that are hard to explain to others who may not have the ability to accept. And acceptance is another big kind of a sense. I would label it a sense that we don't use too well either. So I'm getting down to the best of all, which is admittance. That one's a big one, because once you admit, you can never go home again. So, I'm admitting that I've seen so many interesting things out there in the sky. Don't care to explain them. Doesn't need any explanation as far as I'm concerned. I saw them, and they were unusual. So that was enough for me. For those of us who run into those officials often, who realize that it's their job to keep it from becoming actual for everyone, we know this song is dedicated to all of us who know what they're up to.